We're going to look at multiplying binomials using the FOIL acronym. FOIL stands for first terms, outer terms, inner terms, and last terms. And to show how we use this acronym FOIL, we're going to multiply out x plus 3 times x plus 5. Now when you multiply out x plus 3 times x plus 5, you're really multiplying out x plus 3 times x and then x plus 3 times 5 using the distributive property. Then you use the distributive property again and multiply the x times the x and the 3 times the x. And then also the x times the 5 and the 3 times the 5. And all of these products are x squared, or x times x, 3 times x, 5 times x, and 3 times 5. But we can rearrange these as x times x plus x times 5, or 5 times x, plus 3 times x plus 3 times 5. Now the way these terms are rearranged is the x times x consists of the product of the first terms. Here we have an x and an x. The x times 5, or 5x, makes up the outer terms. And our outside terms are, again, x and 5. The 3 times x makes up the inner terms, the 3 times the x. And then finally the 3 times 5 makes up the last terms, 3 times 5. And you can see from this illustration on the right where the terms are in these two binomials. Here we're going to use the FOIL method to multiply out a couple binomials. We're going to start out with x plus 5 times x plus 10. Using this FOIL approach, we look at the first terms, and the first terms of these two binomials are x and x. We multiply out the first terms, x times x. Then the outside terms are x times 10. So we have 10 times x, or x times 10. Then the inside terms are 5 times x. So we get 5 times x. And then finally the last terms of the two binomials are 5 and 10. So we have 5 times 10. So we get the FOIL, first, outer, inner, last terms. So that gives us x squared plus 10x plus 5x plus 50. We can combine 10x plus 5x to make 15x. So our final answer is x squared plus 15x plus 50. Now in this next problem, it's very similar, except we have a few minuses in it. We have x minus 3 times x minus 10. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the minuses into plus negatives. I mean, you don't have to do this, but this is what you have to think through as you do these problems. Even after you get good at them, you have to think of minus a number as plus a negative. So I change this into x plus negative 3 times x plus negative 10. Now we take the first terms. That would be an x times an x. That makes our first term product. Then we take the outer terms, x times negative 10. That makes our outer product, negative 10 times x. Then we take the inner product, which is the negative 3 times the inner x, giving us the negative 3x term. And then finally we take the last terms. We take negative 3 times negative 10, and that gives us our product, negative 3 times negative 10. Multiplying those out, we get x squared plus negative 10x plus negative 3x plus 30. The negative 10x and negative 3x combine into a negative 13x. So our answer is x squared plus negative 13x plus 30, although we would probably write that as x squared minus 13x plus 30.